me lead off?
Go for it.
I think, he was one of our top-rated players on the board. We felt like here we've got two young, good to very good ends, and we signed Kendall Langford. So being one of our better players on the board, not only did we get the player we wanted or one of the players we wanted, but we made the unit, the defensive line unit, one of our strongest units on the team.
Thought process in trading down again, was it once Justin Blackman was gone, you decided to go down, or what's the reason?
I think I'm not going to name the players, but there were multiple players that we really liked at that pick, but we also had a plan that we talked about all week. If they didn't fall there, then we would try to move back, pick up another pick, and the goal was to pick up another second, so that we could spread the pick and get more, and also get a player we wanted.
Were you surprised there was so much movement ahead of you? There's all kinds of
It was quiet. I mean, it's been quiet, and then all of a sudden things started going. And I mean, I think we were surprised at Cleveland's value, in that one. That one kind of caught everybody off guard. But Trent's a fine player, and you can't fault Cleveland because they got all the picks, for going up to getting him. But we, our board, we had Michael up there with 6-pick value, and he was one of our considerations. And so we had other players up there with that 6-pick value. So when you have a number of players up there and the guy that you have interest in is no longer there, makes sense to go, especially as we talked about our needs, and to be able to get 45 out from Dallas it was a deal we couldn't refuse. So now you wait and things started falling into place, and there was a run of the DTs, and the only club we really had to wait on was Arizona, and Michael fell to us. So Les and I came in this morning and watched him again.
Or watch tape of him again?
Yes.
When did this trade develop? Was it today, or had there been any talk with Dallas? I mean, was it a little bit before today?
It was when we were on the clock.
On the
Now,
clock?
you make calls throughout the day, but we put it together when we're on the clock.
You had two wide receivers obviously selected right before, when you had the 6th pick and then when you had the 14th pick. You guys disappointed you weren't able to get one of those two wide receivers?
Not at this point, no. And remember, it's a 7-round draft. We do have a plan for wide receiver and multiple other positions. So we were comfortable in what happened. I can tell you that.
Coach, you said you used to skip school to watch the draft. Now that you're a part of it, and you got your first one under your belt, what are you feeling like?
I guess now I'd stay up late, right, miss curfew or bedtime to watch the draft the way it's changed. Somebody brought that to my attention this week on a radio show, and to be honest with you, since I took this job 2 or 3 months ago, I don't even know when, it's been a sprint, and the focus has been on, football things. So I hadn't really sat down and thought, hey, this is the first draft. I mean, I've been in this stuff 17 years or 18 years, so. But maybe one day I'll sit back and go, wow.
Jeff, what do you like about Crawford?
Michael he's a big man. At 322 pounds, he's explosive. He's very instinctive. For not having played, for not being a 4-year starter, he's very, very instinctive. He can play across the face of blocks. He pushes the pile. He can collapse. He can get on an edge. He plays with effort. What else can you say? And there's so much more ahead of him. He's going to develop into a fine player. And he's an outstanding young man, great character guy, hard worker, and I mean he's the complete package now. I mean he's what you want in a defensive tackle, especially in our division with the downhill runs and things like that. And one person I know that's smiling right now is James Laurinaitis.
Can he be a pass rusher down?
Oh, he's got plenty of potential to get to the quarterback.
Jeff, very young. I think he just turned 21 in December. Only 1 year as a starter. Is he still raw? Is he NFL ready right now to step into?
He's NFL ready. He's not a what you refer to as a project that's it's going to take a couple years to get on the field or may play here and there. He's going to play. He's a good football player.
And now picking up that 45th pick, you're going to have 4 of the top 45. I'm assuming that the plan is that you wanted to have 3 or 4 guys guys who were ready to come in and start, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, we feel real good. I mean, there's not a head coach or a general manager right now talking about their pick that doesn't feel good. But we feel really good about this because we've got different needs than other clubs. We got another pick. We're going to get a top-notch player at 45, and we got a guy that's going to be a dominant impact player for our defense.
Are you gonna sweat out the rest of the round though, as receivers go off the board, or?
You know what? Our board has been right. We got
It's been on the money so
yeah,
far.
so far. So, you know, we have
Never know how long that'll last, though.
So your board is doing better than many of our mock drafts, is that what you're saying?
Not to ask you to, you know, to show your hands or anything, but now, you know, you've got three picks within the first 13 picks of the second round. Chances are you content with holding on to all three of those picks, or is there a possibility you might deal one of them away?
It'll be a fun night. We'll figure that out between now and tomorrow.
Any thought to you guys of trading down again from 14, or did you get any calls from other teams wanting to move up to 14?
We were prepared to. Yeah, we were prepared to. We had set the value. There were other players on the board, but we couldn't wait any longer. We couldn't pass up this opportunity.
Why did you decide to look at film of him this morning with Rogers?
Well, we went back. He wasn't the only player that we looked at, but we looked at a number of players up that had six pick value.
At a position like defensive
Two more
tackle,
questions, guys.
is low mileage something that's an advantage, do you think, a little bit, that he hasn't been beat up for 4 years?
Well, yeah, well, I think it is, but the other thing is you know, we give players medical grades. There's players that on the board that, you know, have medical grades that we would draft that are, you know, kind of average grades. He got an A. He's never had any issues. Yes, go ahead.
I know you said you got a plan for wide receivers in the rest of the rounds, but what kind of impact do you think that your projected plan will have versus one of the wide receivers you could have selected in the first round? Do they still have as much immediate impact, do you think, or are they going to be more of a project?
Oh, I think we had a plan, and we've had scenarios for about the last 2 weeks, and right now, this scenario is right on track. So, I think to be honest with you, with our second round, our 3 second rounds, and our third round pick, and even our 4th round pick, we'd like to get players who are going to come in and help this football team next year.
So there's still wide receivers left that you like?
Safe to say, yes.
Thanks,
And
guys.
just one last thing about Brocker's visit. Anything about his visit that you like? Wasn't he one of your pre-drafts? Just what that was like, or did he make any kind of impression on you guys? Or?
He was definitely one of our top 30 visits. We visited him at the Combine. Like I mentioned earlier this week, the scouting process starts, you know, a couple of years ago. And even when he did not start the year before, he was on the field playing for a good LSU football team. So you noticed him when you went down there, and he was one of the largest men on the field. But, yes, like Jeff said, the guy, very clean medically, young, not raw, very instinctive, makes plays, and I think also a very good character player. He's a player that loves football and, you know, is willing to work. So there's a lot of intangibles with this player, so it's a nice start for both of us.
Thanks, guys.
One quick question. When I talked to Brockers, he said that one of the things that the defensive line coach really drilled him on during the visit was his ability to pass rush, particularly on third down. Can you just talk about what you see there as far as his ability to pass rush?
I think, first of all, our defensive line coach is one of the best in the NFL, and I've always heard that, but now living with him, I see it and feel it. And he has a philosophy, and I think everyone who visits our games next year, you'll see his philosophy. Pass rush, everybody talks about pass rush. I think pass rush comes from a unit, and we've got 4 players. We've got 2 ends who can rush the passer. This guy's very strong. He can push the pocket. It's going to cause the quarterback not to be able to step up. And now the ends maybe, I don't know if we can still hit quarterbacks anymore in this league, but at least we can pressure them or maybe touch them, 2-hand touch. But it's not all about sacks when you talk about rushing and pressuring the quarterback.
Anything else you'll say? You straight?
Thank you.